Okay, today's our topic is related to NCF. As you know that this NCF is for current 2023. Now we are going to see what is the full form of NCF. NCF is what? National Curriculum Framework. I hope all of you as a teacher know the full form of NCF. NCF is N for National, C for Curriculum, and F for Framework. Now we are going to see the history related to it. Might be you are knowing it, few of you are knowing it or not, but just I'll be going to share the history. See now, in India, NCERT develops National Curriculum Framework, which provides guidelines for developing syllabi and textbooks and school curriculum. All of you are aware of it. All the textbook, whichever textbook we are using right now in the CBSE school, all are provided by NCERT only. They take decisions on that curriculum framework. Now, what is the history of NCF? Let us see in brief. Until 1976, Indian Constitution allowed the state government to take decisions on all matters pertaining to school education, including curriculum. Till 1976, the state government, they were having the decision-making policies. They were taking the decisions related to the framework of curriculum. The center could only provide guidance to the state on policy issues. It was under such circumstances that the initial attempts of national education policy of 1968, all of you are aware of it, that first NEP was launched in the year 1968 and the curriculum framework designed by NCERT in 1975. Just see, NEP is launched first and then curriculum framework was designed in the year 1975. NCERT developed NCF in 1975 following the recommendations of education policy on 1968. Hello? Yes, am I audible?
Yes. Ma'am, somebody is disturbing. The mic is unmuted.
Dear teachers, please, it is a kind and humble request. Therefore, at first only I told. If you are just joining for the sake of certificate and all, no, please follow the norms. Who's that person? I hope she has or he has muted. Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot. No, not yet.
Sorry, ma'am, to disturb, but can you mute everyone, please?
Just a moment. Where is that? I hope right now the disturbance is not there, isn't it? Okay, let us see now. Next. NCERT developed NCF in 1975 following the recommendations of education policy on 1968. In 1976, the constitution was amended to include education in the concurrent list. Those who are SST teachers, they know what is concurrent list, and might be other teachers also, they are knowing it, what is concurrent list. And for the first time in 1986, the country as a whole had a national policy on education and PE 1986. Now, let us see here, 4 times NCF was framed. In the year 1975, following recommendation of education policy in 1968, then 1988, following recommendation of education policy in 1986, and in the year 2000, revised NCF 1988. and in 2005, revised NCF 2000. Now, as you know that we are having National Education Policy 2020, we can consider it as, and now NCF has come in the year 2023. I hope all of you have understood the history of NCF. Now see, here the transforming curricular is given and pedagogical structure is given. So existing academic structure, if you will see 2022, 21, 22, we were following this structure. 2 years it's 16 to 18 and 10 years it is 6 to 16. Now here new academic structure is given, that is, see, somebody is scribbling here. See, the first stage is the foundational stage, then the second one is the preparatory stage, then middle stage, secondary stage, and new. This is new pedagogical curricular structure of school education, 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. 3 years in Anganwadi, preschool, and 12 years in.
Ma'am, you are
Can
not
somebody
audible.
guide me how to mute them?
Ma'am, you are not audible.
Because last time I did it. Hello? Am I audible?
Lot of disturbance is there. Lot of disturbance is there.
Yes, just please guide me, know how to mute them.
Please
Hello?
mute all the participants.
Yes, ma'am. You please just check the option participants and you might be having the option mute all. As an administrator, you might be having that option, ma'am. Mute all.
Okay. Participant mute all. Is it?
Yes, ma'am. Please try that. So then everybody will be.
I think it is done. Thank you. Thanks a lot. So today's our topic is, main topic is child development, and another topic is there that we are going to see in detail. But first of all, we are going to see the child development, because on the basis of that, the second topic is related. And there is one request, if after 40 minutes, if you get disconnected, please join it again by the same link. Now see, the first point is child development. What is child development? All of you are knowing it as a teacher. See, here 3 processes are given: biological processes, cognitive processes, socio-emotional processes. They are intricately interwoven with each other. Each of these processes plays a role in the development of a child whose body, mind are interdependent. Now see, this is the structure given. Changes in the development are the result of biological, cognitive, and socio-emotional processes. Now what happens? You know the 4 stages: infancy, early childhood, middle to late childhood, adolescence. Now, in infancy stage, what happens? This period ranges from birth to 24 months of age. That means we can consider it as 0 to 2 years. A child in this period is highly dependent on adults. Children are beginning to learn about the things around them, learn to focus their vision and explore. Now, second stage is what? Early childhood. This period begins around 3 and usually extends up to 6 to 7 years of age. Children begin to become more self-sufficient and spend more time with peers. This is also a period of intense exploration through play. Third stage is middle to late childhood. This development period is from 6 to 7 years to 10 to 11 years of age before they hit puberty. During this period, children master the fundamental capacities and understanding for survival and growth. They grow physically, emotionally, cognitively through exposure to the wider world around and their culture. Then the last stage is adolescence. We are talking right now about a particular child development. So here only the 4 stages are given: infancy, early childhood, middle to late childhood, and adolescence. This period is the transition period from childhood to early adulthood. A child enters adolescence at approximately at the age of 12 years. All of you are aware all these stages, all this information, but just I'm revising all those things because there is the interlink between the next topic. Adolescence begins with rapid physical changes, gains in height and weight, changes in body counter, and development of sexual characteristics at this stage. The development of identity and the quest for independence is the central theme in the children. Now, next is physical development. In the physical development, what happens? Height and weight increases rapidly during the infancy stage. Then, as the child reaches early childhood, its percentage of height and weight decreases with each additional year. Remember the difference between infancy and the early childhood. In infancy, the height and weight increases rapidly. But if you will go further, for the early childhood, it decreases with each additional year. Growth pattern vary individually, where much of the variation is due to hereditary, but also certain environmental factors can influence it to some extent, such as nutrition. Then next, in the third stage, what happens for the physical development? Middle and late childhood is the calm before the rapid growth spurt in adolescence. It involves slow and consistent growth in height and weight. There is improved muscle tone, and the strength capacity also doubles during these years. After showing through childhood, adolescence experiences a growth surge during puberty. Puberty occurs approximately 2 years earlier for girls than boys. The features and the proportions of the body changes as the individual becomes capable of reproduction. Among the most important factors that influence the onset and sequences of puberty are hereditary hormones, weight, and body fat. Now, here next is after physical development comes cognitive development. And here also we are going to see it in 4 stages. First is sensory motor, pre-operational, concrete operational, formal operational. Now, sensory motor from birth to 2 years, pre-operational 2 to 7 years, concrete operational 7 to 12 years, formal operational 12 years onwards. Now, in the sensory motor, it is given that understand what changes happens during this development, cognitive development. The child understands world through senses and actions. Then pre-operational understands world through language and mental images. Then concrete operational understand world through logical thinking and categories. Next is formal operation. Formal operational, it is after 12 years onwards, understand world through hypothetical thinking and scientific reasoning. Remember teachers, we are using all these terminology nowadays. Hypothetical thinking, scientific reasoning. So all these things are related to the cognitive development. Next is third category is how the children, they develop language. Infancy, among the milestones in infant language development, the development of infancy, crying, cooing, babbling, using gestures, recognition of their names, first word spoken, vocabulary spurt, rapid expansion of understanding words, and 2-word utterances. This happens within 0 to 2 years. Now, early childhood, young children increases their grasp of languages, rule systems in terms of phonology. Therefore, we teach phonics to these children during this early childhood. Most young children becomes more sensitive to the sounds of spoken languages. Children learn and apply rules of syntax and of how words should be ordered. And therefore, we teach them 2-letter words, 3-letter words. Vocabulary development increases dramatically during early childhood. Conversational skills improve. They increase their sensitivity to the needs of others in conversation, and that they learn to change their speech style to suit the situation. Now, in the middle childhood, how the language development occurs. Children gradually become more analytical and logical in their approach to words and grammar. They become increasingly able to use complex grammar and produce narratives that make sense. Improvements in metalinguistic awareness, knowledge about language become evident as children start defining words, expand their knowledge of syntax, and understand better how to use language in culturally appropriate ways. Now, next stage is adolescence. In adolescence, language changes includes more effective use of words, improvements in the ability to understand metaphor, satire, and adult literary work, and improvements in writing. As you see, when we teach language, in the same manner we teach language to each and every stage. Now, the next is social and emotional skills. Now, here the 15 definite social and emotional skills are given, and these are for children. Self-management, sustain attention and focus, impulse control and delay, gratification, goal setting, emotional regulation. It comes under self-management. Then responsible decision making. In the responsible decision making, problem solving, responsible decision making. Then relationship skills, listening skills, collaboration skills, conflict resolution. Social awareness, empathy for others, respect for others, and self-awareness. Identify emotions and feelings, identify own strengths and limits, identify beliefs and values, and self-confidence. Now, here the stages of moral development are given. See, each and every child goes from all these developmental stages, and therefore all these developments are categorized. Now, this is the stage of moral development, because as a child, after when that child is going to be the part of society, moral development is the important part. So in school also right now we are teaching them moral stories, and we are helping students for the moral development. Though their parents are also taking a part in this moral development, but school is also helping students for the moral development. Now, see, first is, wait.
ordered for this Panna.
Ma'am, you're not audible. Vijaya ma'am, you're not audible.
Ma'am, please unmute yourself.
Hello? Am I audible now? Hello?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible now.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, we have unmuted now.
Okay. Just see, this is the inquiry process. In the inquiry process, what do? We ask questions. Okay. Use curiosity, wonder, need to interest to ask rich questions. Then predict. Think about what will happen. Not the same as guessing. Everybody's prediction is different. As I'm predicting, you predicting the things, you are not going to predict the same way. Then plan. Identify methods and material, seek information. Then investigation. observe object, places, events, sort, classify, compare, contrast. Then record, document observations and data from investigation, express ideas, thoughts and information. Then you are going to analyze the things and interpret them, make meaning, explain pattern of that data. Then connect prior knowledge and new knowledge, reflect on learning. This is all about the inquiry process. Now see, as this is the second topic of today's webinar, it is related to all the stages. Now first stage is foundational stage. Might be some of you are aware of it. What is foundational stage?
Yes, ma'am. The early years.
Yeah, early years. The foundation stage, as in the NEP 2020, 2020, it is given. All those things are based on NEP 2020 only. The foundation stage is for children of the age 3 to 8. Children start schooling in the foundation stage. The design is based on the principles of early childhood care and education. Remember the full form of ECCE. It is important because as a teacher, you should be aware of it. If somebody is asking you, what is the meaning of ECCE? And if you are not able to give the answer, it's really pathetic. So whatever the terminologies are used right now in the NEP, please go through it and try to remember. As a teacher, you should be aware of it. Okay. The design is based on the principles of early childhood care and education. Now, ECC is ideally consists of flexible, multifaceted, multi-level, play-based, activity-based, and inquiry-based learning, comprising of alphabet, languages, numbers, counting colors, shapes, indoors and outdoor, as we are doing in the pre-primary stage, all those things. Okay. Then it includes focus on developing social capacity, sensitivity, good behavior, courtesy, ethics, personal and public cleanliness, teamwork, cooperation. All these things are part of early childhood care and education. Now here in this NCF, they have given each and everything in 4 topics again. Now here this early childhood, they have given curricular structure. The foundational stage curricular of the NCF is divided into domains that are closely linked to the developmental domains of the child. Physical development, see, why I have explained all those development prior to you, because here in the curricular structure, it has been mentioned physical development, social, emotional, ethical development, cognitive development, language and literacy development, and aesthetic and cultural development. Those domains of development are also informed by the Panchakosha imagination. Now, what is the content? What kind of textbooks are there? Just see, textbooks are used only from grade 1. Remember these, teacher. From grade 1 only, the textbooks will be available. But we are working in the private schools, so there the structure is different, isn't it? And most of the content is concrete material. What is the difference between concrete and abstract material? Is there anyone who can explain it? Concrete material and abstract material. Yes, please.
The materials that we can see, touch, feel,
Yeah.
those are all concrete materials. Abstract materials which we cannot feel, touch, and all, they are abstract, just like a joy, pain. These are all abstract things.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. See now, here, as per the NCF, what they are saying that textbooks are used only from grade 1, and most of the content is concrete material. That means we are not going to teach them line by line to the students from the textbook. Okay, we are going to use concrete materials while teaching as per the content of that textbook. Here they have given toys, puzzles, and manipulatives. Along with these materials, learning experience organized through physical exploration of the classroom and the outdoor space becomes the most appropriate content. If the lesson is related to the garden, then take all the students in the garden and teach them all those things. If a lesson is related to any physical activity, that then too you are going to take them on the ground and teach them that particular lesson. So it is up to you how you are going to involve all those students. We are not going to use the old methods right now for teaching purpose. In latter years of this stage, worksheets can start playing a bigger role. Children's literature is a very important source of content for language and literacy development. See, in this stage, as per the NCF, we are going to give stress on the language and mathematics. These two subjects are important in this stage. Okay. Now, what is pedagogy? The pedagogical approach. See, we are talking about the first stage only, and the first stage is having 4 parts. The pedagogical approach suggested is play-based and emphasize the nurturing, caring relationship between the teacher and the children. The pedagogical design should allow for a balance between self-paced individual learning to a more social group-based learning. Development of foundational capacities in literacy and numeracy will require adequate time for the child to practice and repeat on their own. Whole class instruction should be balanced with the work time for children where they work on their own, either with materials or with worksheet. How we are going to assess? Assessment. Most assessments are observations made by teachers and not explicit testing and ability of students.